Respected dear family members, my pranams to you. Now we will be explaining about the so-called progressives. It has been presumed, so systematically it has been programmed, planned to explain the Communist Party members, the leftist, the atheists and the radicals and the rationalists. They are progressives. They look forward, whereas other parties are, I do not know whether the word is correct or not, retrogressives. These are all progressives, others are retrogressives. But truly what has happened, the Communist Party in India is the only party which objected, which prevented, which created all the hurdles for the mechanization, for the industrialization, for shutting down the industries. They worked against the corporate management, they worked against computerization, they worked against all the progressive approaches of any rulers. The Communist Party members, they prevented the harvesting equipment, they prevented the utilization of all the agricultural equipment in the name of protecting the job of the farmers or laborers. And every time you can see the so-called progressives always were working in a retrogressive way to prevent the progress of the society, individual, nation and others. Really speaking, all these Communist Party members, they were always telling black coffee and medu vada. Even food should be minimum and non-luxurious. But now, when the CPM conference was going on in Alapi district, Kerala, each CPM leader had their own hired taxi car. They never travelled as group in one car. Brinda Karat had her own hired taxi, Karat had another, Yechuri had another, V.S. Achudanandan had another, Pinarayi Vijayan had another car. So they were all staying in the 5-star hotel in Alapi district. Every one of the CPM leader objected computerization, but now they are working with their own computer. And they objected mobile phones. Now everyone has got a dozen mobile phones. And they objected the corporate culture. But you remember, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan's both children, both son and daughter, I think son and daughter, they are working for the corporate management in Bangalore and Singapore. So what they say, what they preach and what they practice are diametrically opposite. Diametrically opposite. Still they want to project themselves as progressives, saying something and doing 100% against that. Nowadays, Kerala CPM leaders, on the verge of annihilation, they know pretty well that in Bengal they cannot come back. 35 years of their rule in Bengal could just destroy that state of India. Same thing is going to happen in Kerala. This time they are fighting with all non-like-minded people for survival. And now they started going to temple, worshipping the temple, prayer and doing all the Hindu activities at the same time, fighting against Hindus and Hindus' activities. So remember, saying something and doing opposite of that and making others disbelieve in the God and their own wives, children and family members going to the temple. What they say and what they do are diametrically opposite. Supporting some people for getting their name projected. The so-called award Vapasi, so-called Kannaya project in JNU, so-called Rohit Vemula project in Hyderabad University are all projects chartered in such a way that the impression that they are progressives and others are retrogressives should be created. Their name, their picture should get printed in the media. Their words and their messages should get spread through the e-media or mass media, and with that ultimate aim, the so-called progressives are doing diametrically opposite of that they preach and what they tell to the society. Remember about it. That's what I want to make it clear. Now, next point what I want to say is about panchagavyam, entirely different subject. See, panchagavyam is a mix of cow dung, curd, milk, ghee and the urine of the cow. Panchagavyam used to be prepared for all type of spiritual activities among the Hindus. A bit of the tirtham known as panchagavyam from the kalasha used to be given for purity of the body, creating immunity through little bit of microorganism which can be present in the cow dung. So, gomayam cha navam didhyat bhuyishtam dhenu sambhavam sajalam shidhilam shushkam kidavancha vivarjit. Should be excellent good cow dung. A small bit in milligrams are used, and all these are mixed for creating the purity internally. Apavitra pavitro va sarva avasthangido bhava yasmaret pundarikaksham savakhyabhyamdara shujihi. This is the mantra chanted while taking the panchagavyam as tirtham. Now the panchagavyam has got an excellent second option of utility. It is used as an excellent biopesticide. In Coimbatore University conducted a series of experiments and they found that when they used the artificial pesticides and insecticides, germicides purchased and either phosphopesticide or chloropesticide or carbamate pesticide, the result is that they used to get about 10 to 11 tons of tomato per hectare. But when panchagavyam is used, the yield has gone up from something like 13 to 14 ton per hectare. This tomato yield. What is happening, you know, when the real pesticide, artificial pesticides are used, the butterflies, the flies, the weevils which do the pollination, they will also die. Not only the hazardous microorganisms or pests, these good pests also will die. When you use the panchagavyam, these pests, the pollinating agents will not die. Thus the yield is increasing. So our ancient panchagavyam has got an ultra modern use. You should remember that. Now next what I want to say about to the atheists. In Kerala, you know, it is the cradle of atheists. Anybody can become atheist, enroll as the member of atheists, collect membership fees and survive without doing anything, preaching atheism, atheistic approach. Most wonderful thing of that, they never remember what is Hindu Dharma. They think Hindu Dharma is like Christianity or Islam. They think that in Hinduism, we have got only one book, Veda. Christians has got one book, Bible. Muslims have got one book, Quran. Sikh, they have got one book, Guru Granth Sahib. Buddhists have got one book, Dharmavada. So Hindus also has got one book. So, taking one book, they go on denigrating. Unfortunately, they do not even know that thousands and thousands of literature are available for Hindus, written by thousands of rishis, and for the last many thousand years they have been written, and they contain variety of subject. Through stories, glorious messages are given in Purana. Through stories and experiences, glorious messages are given from Mahabharata. And the third level, when you go up, through Ramayana, glorious experiences are given. Through Vedas, in the fourth level, the real messages are given without stories or experiences of individuals. And in the fifth level, the truth and fact about the life are given. Truth and fact about the life are given. Without knowing that, these atheists just take the story from Purana and start criticizing continuously. When I have taken my MBA degree last year, and when I was going for the contact class in IIT campus, Bombay, they were all teaching about the stories and experiences in the business group. They were all teaching the stories. So for MBA, the stories of crocodile, stories of tortoise, stories of rabbit, stories of lion and rabbit, these are all taught in the MBA class. These stories, the rationalists and the radicalists and the progressives and so-called atheists, they denigrate and degrade, saying that Hindus thought that the animals can talk, animals are exchanging the views and so on. But even without knowing that stories are stories, they denigrate the stories and denigrate the Hindu Dharma. So remember that, we should remember that stories are stories and they are nothing but stories. And the atheists and others started denigrating the stories and making fun of the stories. They are just denigrating themselves without even knowing that they are stories. At lower level, stories are needed. At higher level, experiences, messages are needed. So, atheists, for the sake of criticism, they are criticizing Hindu Dharma and Sanatana Dharma and getting themselves degraded. Now you can see all the other organizations are progressing, all the other movements are progressing reasonably well. Unfortunately, the so-called atheist movement, it has got almost annihilated from the surface of India. No atheists are surviving in India, particularly in Kerala. Why it is happening? In the night they go to the temple, and in the daytime they fight against a temple visit. In the night they pray in their puja room and they chant mantra, and in the daytime they fight against the puja, they fight against the mantra chanting. Even E.M. Shankaran Namboodiripad, he visited Padani temple in Coimbatore and worshipped, did pradakshanam and everything. But came out and said, if one temple is destroyed, that much superstition can be destroyed. But they go to the temple and fight against going to the temple. This is what is meant by atheism in Kerala and India. You should remember about it. Thank you very much. My pranams to you.